I think it's very important to talk about the science of sleep with people. But before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Tizzie Hall from Save Our Sleep. I'm the author of this book, that book, which has been a best-selling book in Australia, selling 400 or so copies a week for about 16, 17 years. Lots and lots of you will follow sleep experts on social media, and I can pretty much guarantee you that if they're doing a good job, they've learned from me. I might sound big-headed, but maybe it's about time to be big-headed, because I am the original sleep advice person, and we know it's very easy to work out if the paediatrician you're following, or the sleep consultant you're following, or the breastfeeding mum and milk person you're following, etc., is a learnt from me. And you'll know if they have or they haven't, because if they use things like the term dream feed, they have learnt from me, because I was the first person to ever use that term. That makes me very, very old. I started using that term maybe 45, 50 years, not 50 years ago, not 45 years ago. That makes me really old. Let me think. I started using that term when I was about 20, and I'm now 51. So 31 years ago, I started using that term. So the other way you know is if they talk about tummy sleeping. If babies are cold, they roll to their tummy. It's very, very, very dangerous. I have dedicated my adult life to stopping babies rolling to their tummy. Anne Diamond was a TV presenter in the United Kingdom, and her little boy Sebastian died of SIDS. And one thing which makes me cry every time I revisit her book is where she says, if I was living in New Zealand, the chances are my baby would be alive. Because if I was living in New Zealand, there was an ad playing on the television at tea time every night in New Zealand. There was an ad, and it would come on the television and it would say, if you are putting your baby down to sleep, put them on their back. Back sleeping saves lives. But in the United Kingdom, people were still putting their babies down on their tummies, because babies going down on their tummies made them feel full, and a baby that felt full slept better. And so they put babies down on their tummies. The other thing that happens when a baby lies in their tummy is the baby feels warmer, and warm babies sleep better. So I feel like we're failing our new parents as a society. So if you know any pregnant mums or any new parents who've just had a baby, please share this story, this feed, this live with them. Let's teach them about the science of sleep. Because people say, welcome to parenthood, you're never going to sleep again. And I think that's bollocks, because you will sleep if your baby's needs are met. And then people say babies have sleep regressions. There is the 8-week sleep regression, which is caused by daytime sleep cycle starting. There is the 4-month sleep regression, which is caused by babies not having enough iron in their diet. There is the 6-month sleep regression, which is caused by babies needing protein in their diet, or formula-fed babies being given stage 2 infant formula, or parents or babies on probiotics. There is the 9-month sleep regression. That's caused by nighttime sleep cycles, and babies' needs aren't met, so they can't get from one sleep cycle to the next. Then you've got the 1-year sleep regressions. That's caused by multiple nighttime sleep cycles, plus the introduction of cow's milk. All of this can be avoided if you understand the science of sleep. So let's dig deep into sleep, how it starts, where it starts. Okay, when a baby is born, it doesn't matter what you do, they sleep. So you can rock them, pat them, not have enough bedding on them, hold them, put them on a concrete surface and walk away, and they will sleep, because they are tired, they need to sleep, they've come out of you, they need to sleep, eat and grow. They just sleep, okay. Even if they're not getting enough milk or the right type of milk, they will still often sleep. And they will still grow, because babies get bigger. Look at children in Ethiopia. They start off this size, whatever size they start off, and then they grow. They're hungry, but they still grow and they still get bigger. weighing them and saying, oh, they've got bigger or they've put on weight does not always tell you that they're getting the right amount of food. So when a baby is first born, you can do whatever you like with them, they sleep. When a baby hits 8 weeks, they start sleeping in daytime sleep cycles. So if you have rocked them to sleep, patted them to sleep, given them a dummy to fall asleep with, they will wake at the 40-minute mark and wake up. A sleep cycle, one sleep cycle is 40 minutes. A sleep is multiple sleep cycles. Babies need a sleep. They need more than 40 minutes. 40 minutes just refreshes them a bit. 80 minutes to 2 hours is brain development, growth. It's when they do their growing. It's when they do their brain development. Save Our Sleep babies often talk sooner, walk sooner, true ones who are on the routines from day one, because they get really, really good sleep, deep sleep where the brain development happens and so on. I think it's the REM, some of you like to call it. That is really, really important. So if you are not meeting your baby's needs at 8 weeks, if you don't have the correct bedding, they are not going to sleep properly. And this will affect them, really. It will affect them. It will affect you. That's the 8 week. They start catnapping. So, and then at 6 months, if they're not eating the right food, if they're not having protein in their diet, again, it has problems. And then this causes sleep deprivation, depression. And that is very, very dangerous. Sleep deprivation, depression is really dangerous. You can do silly things. You can trip, you can scold your baby. You can do forgotten baby syndrome, where you leave them in the car by mistake because you're stressed. You can have a short temper with your other children. You can, if you drive the car, it's like driving under the influence of alcohol. That is sleep deprivation, depression. It's not the same as postnatal depression. And too many families have postnatal depression and aren't getting help with their postnatal depression because too many families have this silly sleep deprivation depression, which isn't actually a thing. It can be fixed with the correct bedding, the correct diet, and the correct food. Our babies don't go through sleep regressions because we get the Save Our Sleep bedding from day one. We use that in the hospital. When our baby is first born, if it's full term, we do the breast crawl, where we put them on our chest and they crawl up to the boob and they drink. We limit how long they suck at the breast, which means that they suck on each nipple for 6 minutes, I think it is, for the first 24 hours. Day 1, day 2, it's 9 minutes, day 3, it's 12 minutes. Save Our Sleep mums who are breastfeeding, milk comes in sooner, thicker, nicer and creamier than non-Save Our Sleep mums. We use the correct bedding. The bedding is the key to success with the Save Our Sleep program. You cannot put a price on sleep. You get the bedding and then you get the support in the support group for free. It's like buying a car and get the servicing for free. You don't need a sleep consultant. Then at between 16 and 18 weeks, we introduce our babies to rice cereal. And babies stop drinking as much milk between 18 and 20 weeks. Even if you do not offer them any solids, they cut their milk back between 18 and 20 weeks. In order to get more milk into them, we introduce the solids and we add the rice cereal and express breast milk. Someone is doing a little experiment for us in the support group in the Happy Baby Sleep Clinic as to whether frozen breast milk is different when mixed with rice cereal to fresh breast milk. I always found that fresh breast milk mixed with rice cereal worked reasonably well, but frozen breast milk, you had to keep adding it. It's like it's changed. And I wonder, let's see what that experiment brings us before we wonder anything else. But it'll be interesting to see what the results of that look like. So we introduce solids, and then the other thing is we don't aid our babies to bed, so we don't rock them to sleep, we don't let them suck in a dummy and so on. We put them down in bed and they put themselves to sleep. They never unlearn this skill. So with a Save Our Sleep baby, with all babies, when they are born, if you make sure that they are fed with nice, thick, creamy breast milk, so mum's breasts are either milked on a routine, which means you express at the same time every day, which makes nice, thick, creamy milk, or the baby is fed on a routine. Or thirdly, the baby is demand fed, but only ever fed when they cry, a hungry cry, which will end up being on a routine. The baby will put itself on a routine. If that is followed, your baby has nice, thick, creamy milk. Our mums don't do any probiotics, and the baby gets no probiotics unless it needs to put on weight in the special care baby unit, and they have the correct bedding. Our Save Our Sleep mums do this, and then their baby sleeps really well and never unlearns the skill of sleeping. Now, the Save Our Sleep bedding is important. You need to rip off any mattress protector that you have, and you need to replace it with the Save Our Sleep cotton mattress protector. If you can't afford the Save Our Sleep products, we have a second-hand group where you can buy the products second-hand. And don't forget, when you invest in the products, you can then sell them second-hand. So you actually, it's not like you're buying a sleeping bag for X amount of money and then that you don't get that money back. With Save Our Sleep, you can use that sleeping bag for 5, 6, 7 or 8 children. So you can sell it in our second-hand group. So you get the mattress protector, you make sure it's a Save Our Sleep one, or a cotton towel. You then dress your baby in a bodysuit, which buttons under the baby's bum, and a baby grow. Now let's see if I can share a photo of baby Grace. Yes, I can. Look at this. Share. Did that share? Can you see the photo of baby Grace? If anyone was looking at my little stories or me unboxing this baby grow, look how big it is on her. And it was absolutely minute. Now do I click that? How do I stop sharing the photo of baby Grace? Stop sharing. So that's baby grow. That's baby Grace, and she's in the special care baby unit, and we are following along her story and following her journey. And all the Save Our Sleep mums bought her that lovely little baby grow and a couple of others that she's wearing. And it's absolutely tiny. It's like probably the size of that book. And it's too big for her. So you can just imagine how tiny, tiny baby Grace is. So you wear a baby grow like that. And then we wrap a baby in a wrap and a wrap. And then, does anybody want to come along and join me? Or would anybody like to ask a question? If not, I'm going to just keep talking. So you wrap the baby in the wrap and a wrap. And then at 8 weeks, that's the other reason why we have an 8-week sleep regression. Babies start to sleep deeper in sleep cycles, and they're not as warm. And if you don't introduce a sleeping bag, they start waking because they're not as warm. So we introduce the Save Our Sleep sleeping bag at 8 weeks. So, and then we do a sheet folded in 2 to keep the blankets clean and to stop your baby from using the blankets as a comforter. Bedding, so that's very important. And then we introduce solids, as I said, 16, 18 weeks. And then we introduce protein at 6 months. Lots of babies are fed the wrong texture of food.